It's your boy Young Philly and welcome back to Fearless Stories presented by Princess Trust and Tango. Today I am joined with Lottie. Lottie, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good. Hey, I'm good too. No one really asked me how I am. But yeah, I'm good. I'm excited to know absolutely everything about you. So let's just start from the start. Where was you at in your life? Where was your mindset at? What was you doing in your personal life before you found out about Princess Trust?
Yeah, so hi, I'm Lottie. I'm 20, although I just don't look it. I joined the Princess Trust back in September 2020. I was having a really hard time with education. I was constantly bullied because of my size. I also had chronic eczema growing up right until very recently. And it just caused me to get picked on. I think I was just an easy target for most because my size didn't really help. But yeah, I joined the Princess Trust back in September 2020 and it was the best thing I've ever done.
Okay. Why was it the best thing you've ever done? What has it done for you that you maybe couldn't have done yourself?
I think from what I experienced in school, I was just such an unconfident person. So I'd done the team program, which is just based on confidence building in young people. And I needed that stepping stone to put myself back into education, to get to back where I am now. I needed something to just detour me a little bit and get back on the right path.
I can't relate to it, but I can only imagine that being bullied must be extremely tough. But how did you find the strength to overcome the confidence?
I think the main person in my life at that point was my nan. My nan was just the sort of person that she didn't really need to say anything. She'll just be there. She'll give me a look that just said, "Come on, Pop It, like you can do it."
Oh, Pop It, that's
I didn't even
cute.
need to tell her anything. She just
knew.
was just there, yeah. I think she was my main support system to start off with. But again, just the Princess Trust, it just really helped me build my confidence back. I was able to be someone I wasn't able to be in secondary school. I didn't have to fit into a group with the Trust. You could just be who you wanted to be.
Yeah.
And they didn't care.
And so how did that come about? Was it a case of, I don't know, maybe someone at school? Was it even your nan that told you about the Princess Trust? How did that opportunity for you come about?
So I left school a month into year 11. At that point, I just couldn't do it anymore. The best option for me was just to take myself out of the situation, so I did. I went to college and I just wasn't having a good time. They realised that my attendance was dropping, my work wasn't good, and they pulled me in for a conversation and went, "Look, why don't we check about other options? What else can we do now to support you in a way that this won't?" So they gave me a leaflet about the Princess Trust, and in that moment I was a bit sceptical. It was more like, never heard about this before. Like, what is it gonna entail? What am I doing? And then my first phone call, I realised this is gonna be something that's good. And it was.
Early on, you mentioned your nan being like the powerful figure in your life at that time. Is she still that person for you, or what's the relationship like?
She is mentally, but she's no longer with us anymore. In
Sorry to hear
2016, she passed away. It was a long build up, to be honest. She was ill my whole life. She had breast cancer and she passed. So not much I can do about that now, but obviously in that moment, it did really, really affect me mentally.
Of course. How did you navigate then through that obviously difficult time? Was she like a motivation to, you know what I mean? Because you mentioned earlier that she knew without you having to tell her what you was going through. So yeah, did you use her passing as motivation to get to where you wanted to get to mentally, or?
100%. My nan was big on her crime shows. She loved anything from Silent Witness to Criminal Minds. And because of that, I love them too. I'm now studying psychology and forensics at college, which is because of her. If it wasn't for her making me watch crime shows with her, although I probably shouldn't have at that age, because it is a little bit gory.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't love what I love now.
Yeah. And so how has your passion with forensics helped you overcome with challenges in your life?
I think having something to focus on and having such a big inspiration behind that focus and being able to bring my nan into the equation when she's no longer with us, just having that and understanding, that's just what I want to do. I want to understand why people act certain ways and do certain things based on how they're brought up and genetics. It's just so interesting.
So obviously mental health is something that's come to light a lot recently. I'm someone that suffers with it too. But what was the turning point for you? When did things start getting better for you? When did you realize, okay, cool, this ain't right, I shouldn't be thinking like this, I need to go seek help? When did that all changed for you?
I think once I left school and realising that I didn't need to fit into that bubble anymore, I didn't need to be the girl that everyone else wanted me to be, I think that's what made me realise something needs to change. I cut my hair off, I started dressing how I wanted to dress, and I did get help. I sought help as much as I could, and I am where I am now because of that.
So I'm sure you'd agree that embracing your true identity takes some courage, especially like in the world that we live in at the moment. But what advice would you give to like young individuals that would want to do the same?
There's two things. One is a quote from a footballer, Mary Earp. She said, "Be unapologetically yourself. Who cares what people have to say? Just dress how you want to dress, act how you want to act. If you want to cut your hair off, go for it." And you also don't need to take the same path as others. You can go on a little detour if you need to. Sometimes that's what we need. We need that little time to focus on ourselves, to be able to put back into our work, because it does show.
So how did you manage to silence like the noise around you and live life on your own terms?
I think it was more just a confidence thing. I needed to build my confidence up from going from being that girl that sat in the corner with her hood up to someone I am now, and being able to express myself in a way that I wasn't able to before. Being able to wear what I want to wear and say what I want to say without worrying about what other people have to say because of that. I think that's something, especially for young people, that is such a big problem, because in secondary school you have that issue of having to fit into a certain group and having to be that person. You don't have to be that person.
Could the Lottie in secondary school do what you're doing right now?
Oh, no way. I'll be sitting in the corner. I'll be twiddling my thumbs and keeping myself to myself. From going from being that girl to I've spoken in front of about 500 people with no worries whatsoever. I would never have been able to do that before.
Yes, even for me, because I've just met you. You don't come across that way. So even to hear it sounds mad, because I'm like, what? The girl that was mad called to me when she said hi? No, shit, shy. So yeah, it's proper nice to see. So we got confident Lottie now. What's the plans for the future?
So I've got one more year left of college. I know I'm a little bit delayed compared to most people in my year. So it is kind of dissettling being in a situation where you're with younger people. But if that's what I need to do to put myself back on the right path, then I'm doing it. I've got one more year left at college.
But you can't wait to finish, innit?
Oh, I know, I can't wait. But I am going to university, fingers crossed.
Oh, it's not even going to be done then
Not
yet.
done yet, no. And then hopefully to go on to understanding why people do the things that they do based on genetics and family history.
So Lottie, it's safe to say that you are now fearless. But what advice would you give to a young person that is also wanting to be fearless?
Again, just do what you need to do. If you need to take the time to focus on yourself, if you need to take that little detour, then do it. From such a young age, we are told that we have to go primary school, secondary school, sixth form or college, and university. But that's not the path that you need to take. Sometimes you need to focus on yourself to be able to produce the work that you want to produce. And without doing that, what have you got?
And on that note, we'll end it there. I've been Young Philly. This has been Lottie and her fearless stories. And we want to give a special thank you to Princess Trust and Tango. Over and out.